What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Politoxic Podcast. I'm your host, Little Miss Marxist,
And I am Sari Beth Rosenberg.
and we are here to bring you all of the most toxic topics in the news cycle this week.
We're so excited to get this started. And at first, we were just going to dive in to all of our favorite toxic news, right, Marksy?
I mean, we're obsessed, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do it all day. So we're like, let's do it tonight on the podcast. But then I'm going to give this to you, Marksy. You are a genius. I bow to thee.
Stop.
Because yes, I'm bowing. You can't see me right now. I'm bowing because you were like, yo, girl, why don't we tell them our origin story? And I was like, hell yes. And then we'll get into the toxic news next episode. So that's
I
what we're doing today, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt that we're brand new to the politics podcasting space. Both of us are pretty established in our social media avenues. Both of us are very active on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, but we're new to this space. So I thought it might be a great way to start the podcast by letting you guys get to know us a little bit, who we are, why we're here, and just get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So whether you're heading to work, driving, getting on the subway, if you're in New York City like me, sitting on your couch, I don't know, whatever you're doing listening, just kind of ease on in and listen to our stories. So, Marksy, how did you get into this racket?
I feel like it was kind of on accident, honestly. I just started talking into my phone during 2020 in the middle of a global pandemic when I was all by myself in my apartment, having a really hard time kind of processing everything that was happening with COVID and the George Floyd protests and the entire Trump situation. And I just picked up my phone one day and started talking into it, and it kept growing and growing.
Same. So I've been on social media for a long time. I had a Twitter account, had an Instagram. I don't know. Is anyone using I mean, I had Facebook, didn't we all? But I really wasn't using it for politics until 2016, but then I would say the same. I was also alone in my apartment, not here in New York City, and teaching classes online. I'm a teacher and bored out of my mind. And I don't get bored. So when I get bored, I find other things to do.
Right.
So first I started connecting with PBS NewsHour Classroom
Oh,
and
wow.
really yeah, it was so cool, Marksy, because I just knew teachers in New York City and of all times, I mean, teachers are under attack in different ways, but we were just disconnected from our students, disconnected from our peers, disconnected from our families and loved ones. And so we started doing these Zooms with teachers, just like in school staff, discussing COVID and what it was like and our safety fears when going back. And it's been going on for 3 seasons now. It's called the PBS NewsHour. It's called the PBS NewsHour Classroom Educator Voice Series. And this literally came out of Twitter. Like I tweeted at PBS and I was all, hey, can I get free access to the videos I usually play in school? Because I don't know how I'm going to teach this online without clips from Eyes on the Prize. And Vicky from the education wing of PBS NewsHour was like, hey, I can't help you with that, but do you want to write a blog post about what it's like teaching during COVID? I was like, sure. So I wrote a 13-part series, blah, 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 blah. So I started becoming an education activist because I was seeing what teachers were suffering. So especially the ones like in states where they're like, go back to school, no vaccine, don't wear a mask, you're a wimp if you're wearing a mask, right? So that's how I got into like more political and activists online. Of course, Trump, and of course, George Floyd, like you, but we have very similar stories in some ways because we both kind of got ignited at a time where everyone was just forced to be still.
I was really surprised at the feedback and how my following was growing so quickly. And in that time when I felt so isolated from the world, as we all did, I felt really connected, and it felt good to know that there were other people besides me that felt the same way. And then for me, it kind of became this community aspect. And now I've got all of these amazing friends and trolls hanging out with me every single day, going through this stuff. And it's just become so purposeful for me, and I really love it a lot.
I mean, everyone love even your trolls love your videos. Can you just because indulge me, can you say your now infamous greeting?
My infamous greeting is whatever time of the day it is. Right now, it would be good evening. So it would be good evening, friends and trolls. I think it's funny because my name is somewhat offensive to a lot of people, my screen name, particularly. But I think the perfect way to put it would be that the trolls named me. And so that's why I greet them just the same as the friends, because initially I was using something very close to my professional name,
Yeah.
and they were always calling me a commie and a little liberal and this and that. And someone called me this one day on a post, and I thought that's the name, and I changed it and never looked back. So I have to greet them, though. They give me just as much
Yeah.
attention as my real followers.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I first met you by watching your TikTok videos. My biggest platform for a long time was Twitter, and I was using it quite a bit during the for the 2020 presidential, trying to make sure that Trump wasn't reelected. And much to contrary belief from your trolls, Trump did not win the 2020 election.
Yeah.
And so was working really hard on Twitter with that. And I remember actually trying to just keep my Instagram like live, laugh, love vibes, but in my own edgy New Yorker way. Cause like, I'm if anyone knows me, you know me, Marksy. I'm not like live, laugh, love. It's like a lot of black hearts, but I have a heart of gold. I have a black heart of gold.
That's right.
And so, but like my Instagram was like me working out, like a thirst trap of me in a sports bra, like me with my friends, except for once COVID hit, it was like me and myself walking in the park, like no friends in sight. And I was like, damn, Instagram ain't fun when all I'm doing is like, this is me in my apartment again. I'm drinking tea. So I started putting my tweets on there. And at first I was like, no one's really liking these. And then something happened. And I got a complex about it for a while. And then I had to just get over it. My tweets were getting more likes than my face, Marksy. You know how that felt? I'm like, so y'all like my tweets and not my face. Okay.
But I don't think that's it at all, but I think you're definitely a wordsmith. The woman is a wizard with the words.
Well, thanks.
Everybody that's listening to this should check out her Substack. She has a great thing that she puts out. I should probably let you plug your own Substack, but you're an amazing writer, and so there is no surprise to me why you did so phenomenally on Twitter, because your posts, I think, are just so informative and intelligent, and I learn a lot from them. And that was one of the first things that drew my attention to your Twitter, I think, which that actually might be where we met.
Yes, I think
Um,
we met
I
on
was
Twitter.
really late to the Twitter game. I didn't join Twitter, I think, until 2021.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I don't know it. I'd never done it before. I mean, I'd been on Instagram for a long time, but I wasn't doing anything purposeful. I mean, my private Instagram is just a lot of my professional life, but I went to Twitter, and it was kind of just like a really close friend of mine who lives in Canada, actually. We talked a lot about what was going on with the election here. And he's like, you should just start a ghost Twitter account and scream into the void. One of my best friends, Ian. And so I did start a Twitter account. And it's almost like you can just put your craziest thoughts
Yeah.
into a couple of sentences, and
Yeah.
people really like that too. I mean, I
I
think what I like best about Twitter is that I can direct tweet
know.
political heads and people in the news. And also for me, it's a great source of getting instant news.
Yes.
It's the fastest place, I think, where articles are coming out from all around the world. And pre Elon, it was growing to be one of my favorite platforms. But now
Yeah.
I think Instagram kind of has my heart. My community on the Instagram platform is just amazing, and I love them so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, me too. And so like I'm gonna here you want to confess here, let's have a confessional. Let's get into the
Let's
confessional booth.
have
I'm
a
in a confessional booth now. So like unlike you, I was like thriving on Twitter and starting to turn my Instagram into my Twitter. So then thriving there. And my TikTok is still like not my most popular platform. I don't know why, because it's like my same TikToks go on Instagram and they do well, but whatever. Well, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing it for the clicks. I'm doing it to get the message out. But I will say that before I met you, you were like, I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. Like I always see I followed you on TikTok and you were always, I mean, shocking. You were always coming up in my algorithm. It would be like,
That's
tarot card readers, which I don't know about that why, and you. So, and other political ones. So like when I think we did, at first I thought we did become friends on TikTok. It was just me being like obsessed with your TikToks.
I think we did. The first DM, I think we exchanged on TikTok.
Yeah, it was on TikTok. But then we got to know each other better on Twitter. And I don't know, everyone listening to this is like, there's a lot of different TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. That being said, we became friends on social media, which if you would have told me even like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that I would be like not just friends with someone that I met online, but starting a podcast and
Right.
feel like you're my bestie, I'd be like, that's weird. But now I'm like, yeah, of course, my bestie is Marxie and we're starting a podcast. Like, why wouldn't we? Right?
I think that social media, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because um, it makes the world so small in so many ways, but at the same time, I never would have connected with you in real life without it.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I have never felt more accepted in any community than I do with all of us that are working towards trying to save the country and make it a better place. And I don't even mean with followers, with our own community and everyone that I've been connected with through doing the social media has really changed my life in so many ways. And I'm so grateful for it.
Me too. And I agree. I feel like it it sounds corny, but I'm going to say it anyway. It really gives me purpose because
I agree.
I I mean, unlike you, I everyone knows I put my whole full name on the internet because I originally didn't intend even my Twitter to be my political views, but here we are. And there are times when I'm thinking, oh, like all my students, because I'm a teacher, my students can see my political beliefs. They can see what I'm thinking. My students can see my posts on Instagram because I'm public. But honestly, I I can't tell you how many times students have been like, "Thank you for standing up for us."
I love that so
And
much.
so at the end of the day, like it's the community that we've created, and it's also like I do feel like, yeah, like it's a ripple. Like I'm not saying that you or I can save this country, but I think that for some people who are in communities where they don't have a platform at all or are too scared to use the platform because they're going to lose their jobs if they speak out, we are their voice. And so many times I'm just amplifying what students are telling me, what they're going through, what other teachers are telling me, what other followers on Instagram or Twitter want me to share. I just see myself as like a vessel and a vehicle to really like just I mean, my goal is to keep us and make us even stronger multiracial democracy. And I can't believe that that's like a controversial thing to want to achieve right now. But
I
we
agree.
really are. Don't you feel like I don't know how you feel, Marxie, but like I do know how you feel. So this is a leading question, but I do feel like I always feel like I've been teaching history for a while. It's like probably every generation feels like they're at a crossroads. I can't name another time in history when it didn't feel like such a crossroads. Do you feel like we're at a crossroads for 2024?
I definitely do. And I think the last time this happened was the sexual revolution. Um, I think that's the last time it happened. That was right around the time when Roe was first instilled. Um, and we've come such a far way from there. Um, but we have some people trying to drag us back there. So I definitely feel like we're at a turning point in history, and that if we both have these platforms, I think it's important for us to use them for good. What else? What else is the point of it? It's not for clicks. It's not for likes. It is definitely not for money. But I feel like if I have this space and I've connected this many people, it's for a purpose and to be used for good. So that's what I hope to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, social media is going to exist whether we like it or not,
Absolutely.
and I feel like you and I and our community of shout out to all the creators we are friends with,
That's right.
and I think I think everyone's dying to hear how we came up with this idea, so we'll tell them about that. But I do feel like, thank you to all the creators out there who
Yes.
are doing this unpaid work. This is
Yes.
unpaid work. I have some friends who are like, "Oh, don't you get paid big money on Instagram?" I'm like, "No. I work all day, I work out, and then I come home and I make content, and I know you probably do the same, right?" So,
Yeah.
like
And I think the majority of us are doing it because we actually care. So we want to send a huge shout out to all of the content creators, to all of the lawyers, to all of the virologists and the scientists and the journalists who bring us all of this information to give to you. I don't think half of them get the respect that they deserve. And I also want to clarify that neither of us are journalists.
Yep.
So we are just two people that really give a shit. We're not accredited.
No. And some people say, my producer over at PBS NewsHour Classroom calls us, she says it's citizen journalism, but I don't even like to use the term
I don't.
journalist to describe myself because I respect
Yes.
actual studying and research and work that goes into your craft. Just like I wouldn't call someone who's never stood in a classroom a teacher until they actually do it and learn how to do it. I'm
Yes.
not going to call myself a journalist. Like
And
I,
to the degree, it's like
yeah,
we joke about this all the time about how all of a sudden everybody with a Twitter account is an expert in viruses, in world wars, in policy. I think we're coming into a time where
subversives.
everyone is claiming to be an expert at something. And I want to just set on the record that I am not.
Yeah. We're not doing our own research. We are literally taking information, verified information through the journalistic process, and then sharing with you via videos for people that are on the run, not on the run. It sounds like they're on the run from the law, like on the run, going to work, like feeding your kids, like getting somewhere. And like we just make these quick videos for you and content so that you can fit it in. So, okay, you know what?
What?
We're really teasing this out. Like, I think we need to tell them how we met and how we came up with this idea because we called this the origin story.
I think
And
we
we
should.
right?
Yeah.
You is everybody ready? Are you guys
We should.
ready? Are y'all ready?
So we became friends, I'm going to say about a year ago on social media, but the last 6 months, we definitely became a lot closer. We started talking outside of the social media apps. We've done a couple collab videos together with some other creators in our area, and I had the opportunity to go to New York for a movie premiere, and I was able to bring a guest, and so that was when we met for the first time, and I want to say that was the end of March.
Yeah, I think it was the end of March. It was still a little cold here in New York.
Yeah, so we got to get all dressed up and go see a movie. And then our joke is that we birthed the Polytoxic podcast, sharing a bathroom stall at a bar in New York City.
Honestly, it's real. I honestly, it's where all serious conversations
Between
like
women
really
happen. It's in
happen.
the bathroom.
The magic happens in the bathroom because I can't, it's a funny trope now, probably on TikTok and everywhere else, where like girls are just like always hyping each other out in the bathroom, like you go girl, or like dump his ass, or like no, you look hot, have fun on your date. But of course, on seriously, like on brand, that's not what we were talking about. Maybe we were putting on lipstick because we're like that,
We
we're
were.
those girls, but like we're
We were
about that.
talking about politics.
Yeah, we were literally like putting on lipstick, like whatever. Who knows what was going on in March? Like I don't remember
I
anymore.
can't remember, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And
No,
and here we are today with all of them, and this is our very first episode. Um,
I'm feeling so proud of us and excited.
I am too. So let's talk about where they can find us.
Okay, great. So, well, you can find us at Polytoxic Podcast. You can find me at Sari Beth Rose. So my name is Sari Beth Rosenberg because I'm a fool and let the whole world know about me and then start posting all this toxic content. Just kidding. The truth. Posting the truth. And so I'm Sari Beth Rose, like on every social media platform. And you are
You guys can
Marxy.
find me at Little Miss Marxist. I think my Twitter is the only one with a different handle, and it was because my first account got banned because I free speech too hard. So you guys can find me at Little Miss Marxist on almost every single platform, and Little Miss Marxy on Twitter. But we're definitely going to drop our links in the bio so that you can find us because we are brand new to the podcasting world, but both of us are. Definitely forces. I would say Sari so much with her writing and for me with my video content. So we're quite active on other platforms.
Yeah, you can also find me, Sari Beth Rosenberg, on Substack. My newsletter is called Yo Miss because that's what my students call me. It's what
And
they
it's
call,
amazing.
honestly, like in New York City, anyone listening, the real ones know if you're a female identifying teacher in New York City, they're going to call you Yo Miss. And if you're a male identifying teacher, they're going to call you Yo Mista. So that's why I call mine Yo Miss. But the
I
other thing I wanted to remind everyone is to like, now that you are like, oh my God, I want to hear more of Marxie and Sari, we are going to have a new podcast out really soon. But in the meantime, they should go over to Grifty Pod.
yes.
If you go to grifty.org, so I like to podcast. I've suddenly become a podcaster. I'm a co-host of Grifty Pod. So you can go to at Grifty Pod on Instagram or grifty.org. And Little Miss Marxist was the very special guest
It
the
was so
other
much
for the last episode. I believe it was, I'm looking it up, episode 6. It's called Indictment Day Part 2 because we're French. Um, and so you all should listen to that and follow our friends over at Grifty. Great podcast.
It's amazing.
And we will we have so many topics we want to talk about, but I think everyone should keep in mind that we're going to keep this super up to date. What I love about Marxie's TikToks is like literally the new, I don't even see this stuff on the news and it's already on TikToks. Like Marxie's like breaking the news all the time. So we want to make sure
So
that our podcast reflects that same style. So we're going to be really careful about like, not rehashing something that everyone already talked about 4 days ago. Our sense of time is even crazier since we're like always kind of like getting the news, the late break, the breaking news like real fast on Twitter. But we're gonna make each podcast like short, not too long, like 30 minutes, and get all the information that think you should have from the week. And we're also gonna have. Oh yeah, I want to tell them this before we sign off. They're gonna get like the most toxic topic of the week. So
that's right. The
that's gonna be fun.
TTOTD.
Yeah, say what that is again. What are we calling it?
It's the toxic topic of the day. So we are going to bring you whatever is toxic in the news cycle that week, along with all of the best news.
Yeah, so we are super excited about this. We can't wait for you to even listen to this conversation. And just again, I want to just say, and I know Marxie feels the same way, and you can say it too. I'm just so grateful for the community that we are a part of and that we've helped create and grow on all our platforms. And as we start gearing up for the 2024 election, we're going to need each other more and more. So we're super excited to do this work with you and keep fighting for what's right. And like wading through all the toxicity of this world that we're in, right?
That's right. All right, guys, then we will be back next week with our very first episode of Actual News. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.